Hi, Southwoods Algebra students. Mrs. Lindsay here to discuss some variables, independent and dependent variables to be specific. So let's get rid of me and get on to it. The variables in the study of a cause and effect relationship are called the independent and dependent variables. They're the cause and effect. The independent variable is the cause. Generally, it's what happens first. Its value is independent, or it manipulates the other variable in your study. It's the x in the xy coordinate plane, or the x in a function-based equation. The dependent variable is the effect. That's what happens when you change the independent variable. Its value depends or responds to the changes in the independent variable. Generally, it's the y in an xy coordinate plane. An easy way to remember this is say to yourself, this response depends on that cause or manipulation. Let's get to some examples. Do tomatoes grow fastest under fluorescent, incandescent, or natural light? First, in your experiment, you control the light. You decide what kind of light you have, fluorescent, incandescent, or natural light. That's independent. That's what happens first. Then, the plant will grow depending on the conditions. So the independent variable is the type of light the tomato plant is grown under. The dependent variable, what happens, is the rate of growth of the tomato plant. That's the result. The rate of growth depends on the type of light the tomato plant is grown under. Second example, what is the effect of diet and regular soda on blood sugar levels? You decide what type of soda you're going to drink. That's independent. You control what you drink, depending on how healthy you want to be, I suppose. Then what happens is your blood sugar levels go up or down, depending on what type of soda you drink. The independent variable is the type of soda you drink, diet or regular. The result of the type of soda you drink is your blood sugar levels. Your blood sugar levels depend on the type of soda you drink. Some more examples. How does a computer use before bedtime affect your sleep? Well, first, you decide if you're going to use the computer or not before you go to bed. If you decide to use the computer, you may cause yourself to have compromised sleep. That's the effect. The independent variable, the manipulator, is the amount of computer time you use before bed. The result is the number of hours of sleep. The number of hours of sleep depend on the amount of computer use before bed. Fourth example, how well do different plant species grow in salt water? In your experiment, you decide to control how much salt you're going to put in the water of your plant. That's your experiment. That's your control. The result will be how well the plant will grow. The independent variable, the cause, is the amount of salt added to the plant's water. The dependent variable, the result, is how well the plant grows. Plant growth depends on the amount of salt added to the plant's water. If you remember yesterday, we had a little video where a man was descending the stairs. His elevation was decreasing over time. Sometimes his elevation stayed constant, stayed the same. Other times he descended. Other times he walked around on level ground, and then he descended, maybe at a faster rate. A little bit of level ground, then he descended again. Got to ground level, came to a little bump in the road, so he ascended a little bit and then walked on level ground. All this took time, and time continues to advance, whether the man climbs, whether he rests, he descends, he walks on level ground. It doesn't matter what the man does, time will move on. Time is independent. So in an elevation versus time graph, time is the x coordinate. It's on the x-axis. Elevation is the y-axis. Elevation depends on how much time the man spends climbing. A little way to remember this is if you remember the letters dry mix. D, the dependent variable. That's the responding variable, and it's the y coordinate on your xy axis. In mix, M, that's the manipulating variable. That's the independent variable, and it's the x coordinate. And don't forget, the man's elevation depends on the time. So that's a little bit about independent and dependent variables. We'll have some more examples, answer your questions, and discuss it at greater length tomorrow in class. In the meantime, have a great night